Okay, good morning all. So in this problem, this is problem number 2 from solution book. So in this problem, we have to construct a square prism of base side 30, axis length 60. Okay, resting on HP with all the vertical bases inclined to it. Okay, so we have to construct the development of this. Okay, first I'll be constructing a square prism. Okay, of dimension 30. So before that, I'll be drawing an XY line first. Okay, so here you can see I'm drawing a square here, square of dimension 30 and angle 45 degree. Okay, you can show the dimension for one side, you can write the namings. So we have to write the namings in small case letters. Okay, so doing the projection line, so drawing the projection line here. Okay, the front view axis length it is 60 mm. Yes, it is a square prism, means we have to get a rectangular face in the front view. Okay, so the front and top view of the square prism, front and top view of the square prism, it is done. Now we can show the dimension. Okay, so now we have to draw the section plane which is there at a height of 50 mm from the base. Okay, and it is exactly cutting the axis at a height of 50. So for that I'll be drawing a 50 mm line from the base, exactly from the center on the axis. I'll be drawing another 50 mm line. Okay, so go to line. So from the bottom I'm going to draw, that will be convenient. Okay, 50 minus 10, 60 minus 50 means 10, but I will be drawing from the bottom. Okay, so from the bottom 50 mm length, so I've drawn one line for reference, and then I'm drawing a section plane. I'm taking this as axis plane, now giving the angle 60 degree. Okay, so that's what I can see, that angle of inclination will be 60 degree here. So type 60 and enter. Okay, so after this go to next and extend this line. Okay, this is where it is cutted. Okay, this is how it is cutted. Now we can show the angle for this section plane. Okay, angle of inclination it is 60 degree. Now we have to we can give the naming here. So that is 1, it is where it is cutted. Again on the A point it is 1, again here same on the A edge. Now 2, point number 2, it is falling on a vertical edge B. Okay, and then point number 3, you can see it is not falling on the C, it is falling somewhere in between B and C. Okay, somewhere in between. That's why I'll be drawing a projection line from this intersection of these 2 points. By projecting it, you can see this is not falling on the B, it is falling in between B and C. So that's why we have to draw another line here. I'll be making that line as a continuous line. So we can give that is 3, and here you can see again, if I write the point number 4, so that is not falling on the D, it is falling in between C and D. Okay, that's why point number 4. Then point 5, it is falling on the exactly on the vertical edge D here. Okay, now we have done with the namings. Now we have to project it. You can see that. So we have to project it. Okay, so so I can use the split command to highlight only the retained cut portion. Okay, so for that I'll be using the this split command. Using the split command, we can split it exactly where we want to make the lines dark. Okay, we have to dark only the portions which has been cut by the section plane, the retained cut portions. Okay, so other lines I'm going to make it thin lines. Okay, thin lines. By selecting these lines, I'll be making it as thin lines. Okay. Okay, now we got it, the cutted portion. Now we have to do the development. So draw the projection lines from here. Okay, so draw the continuous line here. Now we take vertical edge, because this is an parallel line method, because it is a prism. So draw vertical line. Anywhere you can take a straight vertical line. Okay. Okay, now here you can see the dimension, it is 30. Totally there are 4 faces in the square prism. So using the offset command, I will be giving the distance of 30, and then I will click for 4 times. Okay, I will get the 4 faces here. I will make all these lines as continuous. Okay. Okay, now you can see by projecting the from point 1, so I am getting point number 1 on AA. So, okay, so I can do that. So you can see first we have to write the namings A, B, C, D, capital A, capital B. So that indicates we'll get the exact vertical edges A, B, C, D, A. And now we can give the namings 1 and 1 we are getting on the vertical edge A. Okay, and vertical edge B we having a point number 2, that also we can project it. Point 2 and 5 we are getting on the same point, but I'm not getting the intersection here, so I can use the split command here, so that I can get the exact point here. I'll go to split command and split it exactly where the section plane is cutting. Okay, so now I'm getting the exact point. From here I'm going to project it horizontally to get the point number 2 and 5 on the B and D. Okay, just by projecting the thin line. So here I'll get point number 2 and point number 5. Okay, now you can see point number 3 and 4 not falling on the exact vertical edges, it is falling at a distances. Okay, from B to C and from B to 3 and 5 to D. These two distance were same, so I think that's not the way to measure it. So this is the length we should measure. Again I am going for this split command. Okay, so split command, using the split command I will get this exact length from 5 to D. So that 5 to D, it is exactly same, that is from 3 to B to 3. Okay, I will split it. I mean, this is 8.16. This is what the correct length. Okay, this is what the correct length, because we are exactly cutting this section plane at a distance of 50 mm from the base on the axis line. Okay, this is correct, exact thing we are doing it. Now using arc as arc by center method, so we can cut the arc from vertical edge 2 to from 2 to 3, that is what 8.16. we can give the radius 8.16 and cut the arc. Okay, and the same length again from 5 to D. 5 to D is also the same length, so the radius same, it is 8.16 we have to give and cut the arc. Okay, okay, now with the continuous line, thick line, so we have to join all these 1, 2 points. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 1 again. Okay, so that's what the cutted portion, cutted retained portion. So we'll join it with a thick line. Okay, try to join it with a thick line here. So try to get the intersection point exactly. Okay, so these lines I should make it thick lines. Okay, by selecting the holding a control button, you can make these lines as thick lines. Okay, 0.50. And the remaining line, this is what the cut portion we have to show in the dark lines. Okay, and the remaining lines we should show with the thin lines here. Okay, here he has did the mistake. He has cutted the line for 45 mm, but in the question they have given for 50. So he has done mistake in the solution book. That's not correct. So I have done correctly. Okay, so what we get, that is 8.61 length. That is exactly correct answer, because in the solution book he has taken, that you can see, 15 from the top corner. That's not correct. Okay, if you have to take exactly 50 mm, so that's what we have done. Okay, that is the correct answer. Now we are going to show the retained cut portion in a thick line, and the other lines we are going to show it with a thin line. Okay, so I'm going to split it. So these lines I should show with the thin lines. By selecting these lines, I'll make these lines as thin lines. Okay, 0.13. You can subscribe for this channel, okay, and share it to maximum students so they get benefited. You can like the video and hit on the bell icon for the latest notifications. Okay, so that completes the problem. You can see that, so everything it is completed. So with respect to the question, okay, in the solution book, so they have done the mistake, but I have done correctly in the. We have a square prism problem, so wherein we have to construct a square prism of dimension 40 mm and axis length 65. It is resting on the HP plane on its base with all vertical faces being equally inclined to VP. That means we need to construct a square with respect to square prism with respect to corner position here. So that's how we can able to make it its all vertical faces being equally inclined to VP. Okay, so herein I am constructing a square with respect to corner. First I have taken a reference point, then I have kept a protractor and mark for 45 degree on both sides, and then I have drawn a line of length 40 mm to that 45 degree angle point. So draw two lines passing through the 45 degree angle points, and then take compass, measure 45 mm. Okay, measure 45 mm and cut the arc. Okay, so cutting the two arcs, so that will complete the square prism with respect to corner position. Okay, so construction of square with the corner position here. So we can show the dimension on one side, dimension of 40 mm. We can draw the front view of this. Okay, we can show the naming because it is a prism. It is having two, one is base heads and top base heads, A1, B1. So ABCD is the top face notation, A1, B1, C1, D1 is the bottom face notation, and we can draw to find the, we can draw the thin lines to find out the center of the axis. Okay, it is O1. So draw a small XY line. Okay, now project it upward to complete the, so here axis length is 65 mm, so we'll project it upward. So from the axis point, okay, so we'll be drawing axis length, axis of dimension 65 here. Okay, using axis length we can draw the front view. Front view will be an rectangular face here. Here be constructing a rectangular face. Take 65 and construct. Okay, and show the dimension on one side. You can show the dimension. Okay. So then after that you can see we need to cut an axis point here at a distance of 50 mm from the axis. So here we have to draw an inclined plane. So that inclined plane will be there from the top face at a distance of 50 mm from the after marking 15 mm from the top. I'll be taking a protractor and keeping at the reference point and marking at 60-degree angle. Okay, so mark for 60-degree angle, 60-degree angle, 60-degree angle, and draw an angle line here passing through that point. Okay, so you can extend that cut plane. Okay, here you draw a small line to show the angle here. Okay, small angle here it is 60-degree. You can show it is exactly cut at a height of 15 mm from the top face. Okay, so now we can here you can see that the cut plane has been inclined exactly at 60-degree. Now we will extend to show the development of that. Okay, so here it is drawn with the using parallel line method. So parallel line method it is used here. Okay, first we will take one reference line here. Okay, so here the base edge we are having 40, so it is having 4 sides, means so exactly it equal to 160 mm. So we need to extend this total length of to 160. So 15 centimeter means 150, another 10 mm, so we need to extend, so it will become 160. So here at this exact point we need to mark the exact points, 15 mm on the top side also, and then 10. Okay, so join this. So till here we get the development of this square prism. Okay, so now you can see here after this, so here it is having 4 sides, means so we can measure 40 mm and we can cut 4 arcs here. Okay, can cut 4 arcs, so exactly 4 arcs. So we can extend this. Okay, then after that you can see we have a cutted plane here, so it is exactly cutting at the A point here 1, and here at the B point it is B, and at now at the C and D edge, this edge we don't have exact point, so we'll be drawing vertically downward. So where exactly it is cutting the D CD edge and BC edge, so this is the point here 3. Okay, and the same way it is cutting at the CD end. Okay, CD end at the 4 here, in between CD it is cutting here, and then the exact at the D point, corner point D is cutting there. So now we can join. So we can write here capital A, B, C, D and A. Okay, so you can see here at A1 it is cutted. It is cutting at this point 1 1. In the same way you can see the point here 2 and 5. So the point 2 and 5, 2 we are getting on the exactly at the B, and the 5 point we are getting exactly at the D point. Okay, so we just extend a thin line and we can mark the point here. Okay, then after that so we need to mark a point 3 and 4 here. So 3 and 4 we will be marking by measuring the distance. So measuring the distance here from point B to 3, it is exactly equal to your D24. Okay, so we will measure that using scale here. We'll measure it. So we need to measure from D to 4, or we can measure from B to 3. So we are getting around, it is 12.87 something. So it is around near to the 13 mm. So we can able to measure it. So we can able to measure it using compass here, or we can use the scale here, just for showing how much it is from D to 4 distance. Okay, it is cutting exactly at this edge, right? So around 13 mm I'm getting. So I'm just showing that 13 mm here. Okay, so 13 mm I can show. Okay, so from 2 to 3, so you can see measure here also, it is almost 13 mm only. So you can measure the distance, okay, from 2 to 3. From 2 to 3 we can measure it, how much it is. So we can cut that respective arc from 2 to, it is nothing but 2 3, and again from 5, so it is 3, again from 5 4 also, it is also having the same distance. So we can cut it. So that is your point number 4. Now we can join all these points using a straight line, using scale. So we can join all these points with a straight line, so you can join it. So this is nothing but the retained portion, so that's why we can dark this thing here. We need to dark it. This is what the retained portion of after it is cut by the inclined plane. So we need to dark this portion. Again, the same way, in the same way we can dark here the front view of that cutted prism also. We can dark it. Okay, I'm going to do that. Just see here. So this is what the retained portion. So we need to dark this region here. Okay, so this completes the problem. Thank you.